Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. Let's get started this evening. For Riverside High School, it was a question of will they or won't they after they found out some of their football players couldn't play in the season opener. Many of those players ended up missing practices because of the destructive Oregon Road fire burning nearby. But it's been a night of several developments as KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk walks us through.
It seemed like an unbelievable call, and not from the refs.
I just thought that was wrong, totally wrong, especially everything we're going through right now.
10 Riverside football players were told this morning they wouldn't be eligible to play in Friday night's home opener.
Several of them missed a practice because of either being evacuated and they were helping their family be safe, or they were helping neighbors prevent the fire from happening. And I always try to tell people that's not a Riverside School District decision.
Riverside Superintendent Dr. Ken Russell says he appealed the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association, or WIAA's decision, but they wouldn't budge.
I mean, obviously, really disappointed.
Then, minutes after our interview, a major reversal.
I'm glad somebody made something happen.
The governor's office stepped in and worked alongside WIAA, who decided to let the 10 boys take the field.
The 4 JV players actually went and got their pads on and joined the game in the second half, and the 6 varsity players are allowed to play in tonight's varsity game.
In a statement to KREM 2, WIAA said it received direction and notice from the governor's office that it will assume responsibility under its emergency declaration. Because of this, the WIAA has notified administration at Riverside High School that all of its athletes are eligible to compete.
This is the most united I've seen the community.
On top of the good news, 200 pizzas and free admission to tonight's game, thanks to sponsors.
We're just trying to do our part to help heal the community after the tragic fire in Elk. And so this event serves as a fundraiser.
And before tonight's varsity game even started,
raising a lot of money. We're over $50,000 just to start out, and it's going to be more and more coming.
In Riverside, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Kyle, thank you so much. And as it turns out, Riverside High won their game tonight, beating St. Mary's 35-8. Be sure to tune in to KREM 2 News at 11 tonight on CBS. Our KREM 2 sports team has been working hard tonight, and they'll be bringing highlights from that game and several other high school football games. So stick around this evening. You certainly do not want to miss it. In the meantime, let's check in now with Nightbeat for a quick look at the day's top stories. Tonight, we're getting a look at some terrifying moments inside the Oregon Road fire. A Spokane County Sheriff deputy unknowingly filmed his flight through the firestorm.
Hurry up, Dave! I don't want to die in this.
That's the voice of Spokane County Sheriff Deputy Britton Morgan. In this video from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, you can see every moment of his nightmarish drive. Firefighters say this fire was driven on by 45-mile-per-hour winds, with flames reaching more than 100 feet in the air as they torched trees. Deputy Morgan managed to make it out alive. Go to our KREM 2 YouTube page to see the entire video. Almost a year to the day, the National Transportation Safety Board opened its public docket on the float plane crash in Mutiny Bay that killed all 10 people on board. Also on board that plane was Spokane civil rights activist Sandy Williams and her partner Patricia Hicks. Documents outline what happened and interviews with anyone who may have had contact with that plane. Coming up later, new video tonight shows the moments leading up to the crash. And the Pac-12's down to the Pac-2. The Cougars will be one of 2 Pac-12 schools after the 2023-2024 academic season. The University of California, Berkeley, and Stanford University are all going to the Atlantic Coast Conference. The Huskies decided to leave the Pac-12 for the Big Ten starting in 2024. That means WSU and Oregon State are all that's left. We have much more on the Pac-12 fallout on our streaming platform, KREM 2 Plus. Just navigate to the Locked On Pac-12 section. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, text the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone. Well, new at 10, a newly booked Spokane County jail inmate could face more charges after attempting to bring in hundreds of suspected fentanyl pills into the jail. According to the Spokane County officials, detention officers seized an estimated 300 plus suspected fentanyl pills during the booking process this week. Officials say the inmate was a woman being booked for driving with a suspended license. The pills are being tested to see if they're actually fentanyl. If they are, officials say the Spokane Police Department will likely add the charge of inmate in possession of narcotics. Taking a look at news across the nation tonight, 2 members of the white nationalist group known as the Proud Boys were sentenced for their actions on January 6. Dominic Pizzola received 10 years in prison. Prosecutors say he broke a window at the U.S. Capitol, allowing a wave of rioters to storm the building. Another Proud Boy member, Ethan Nordine of Auburn, was also sentenced today to 18 years in prison. He's a self-proclaimed leader for the group. He was convicted on the more serious seditious conspiracy charge. Let's shift gears, and after days of rain, the sunshine returned for the start of the Labor Day weekend. To get us prepared tonight, hopefully for fun, let's go now to meteorologist Michelle Boss in the Weather Center tonight.
It's going to be a very summer-like start to the first couple of days of meteorological fall. We had some cooler temperatures earlier this week, and now we're heating back up on Saturday. You're going to see a lot of sunshine along with that as we take a look at satellite and radar. Dry weather all across the inland northwest, and a few clouds this morning. Those have since pulled away, and expect plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. Temperatures are looking pretty comfortable out there. You can open those windows. Air quality's good. Temperature 64 in Spokane, upper 50s in Deer Park and Sandpoint, 70 in Moses Lake, 61 in Pullman and Moscow, and 70 in Lewiston. Short-term forecast leaves us with clear skies overnight, and then plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. We'll be heating up quickly and should be up in the middle 80s tomorrow, which will be the warmest day of the 3-day holiday weekend. A little bit cooler on Sunday. We'll see a few more clouds, slight chance of showers, and similar conditions on Labor Day Monday. Mostly cloudy skies, a few showers possible, and highs will be in the mid-70s.
Michelle, thanks so much. Well, today marks the start of one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. More than 148 million Americans plan to leave home this Labor Day weekend, according to one survey. That is more than half the adults in the country. CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports tonight.
Scary moments on Delta Flight 79 bound for New York today, moments after taking off from Prague.
Delta 79er emergency aircraft engine fail. We'll call you back. We'd like straight out.
You can see black smoke pouring from one of the engines on the Boeing 767 with 208 passengers on board. The flight landed safely. Closer to home, Labor Day weekend traffic was building early in Los Angeles, and flyers found crowds at LAX. AAA says international bookings are up 44% over last year. Brianna Williams is heading to Mexico.
How excited are you about Cancun?
We're excited because we definitely need a vacation.
Fares to Europe are averaging about $1,130. That's higher than pre-pandemic. But domestic flights are 11% cheaper than last year, according to airfare tracker Hopper.
For Labor Day weekend, travelers are getting the best value for their dollar, headed to bigger cities like New York City, Las Vegas, and Miami.
Jessica Oliver and her 3 little kids are heading to Maui for her husband's birthday. The island has been losing millions of tourism dollars since the deadly fires.
We decided to support the economy there, and so we're going for my husband's 40th.
Some 57% of Americans say they'll be traveling for Labor Day. Most will drive and are finding gas prices about the same as last year, averaging around $3.82 a gallon. Scott and Brittany Clayton are driving to their honeymoon.
First time being married, I think we're just, whatever the expense is, we'll just pay it. So.
AAA believes it's a combination of people's desire to make up for trips they didn't take during the pandemic and flexible work hours that's been driving this travel boom. A long weekend is a lot more appealing when you can stretch it out a little bit longer. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In the meantime, Washout's also gearing up for extra congestion on the roads across the state. Traffic's expected to be especially busy on I-90, with today being the busiest day for eastbound traffic and Monday being the busiest day for westbound traffic. And if you're planning to fill up before hitting the road this Labor Day weekend, you may notice the unusually high prices. The current average per gallon in Washington sits higher than $5, just a few cents more than this time last week. In Spokane, the average rose 6.8 cents per gallon in the last week, averaging $4.70 a gallon. Prices are also much higher than normal in Idaho. According to Gas Buddy, the price for a gallon of gas is $4.13 on average. In Kootenai County, gas prices hover at around $3.97 a gallon. The highest right now in the Gem State is in Boise and Fremont counties at $4.56 a gallon. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't go to bed just yet. Hundreds of pages of documents released in the floatplane crash investigation. Tonight, we're breaking down the findings, including what witnesses saw before the plane hit the water. And as the high school football season kicks off tonight, a Western Washington football coach fired for praying with his team back on the sidelines tonight. How the fans feel about his return. We're back in 90 seconds.